It's been almost 2 years since Superstorm Sandy barreled down the Northeast, destroying countless homes and businesses. But following the storm, communities have come together to lend a helping hand. As spotlighted this month by the Knights of Columbus, one of the organizations who has played an integral role in the Sandy recovery is the Catholic Charities of Fairfield County. The president of the organization, Al Barber, joins me now, along with Vice President Sandy Cole. Welcome to Connecticut Style. Nice to have you both here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Al, we were commenting before we started the segment. I didn't realize there was still a recovery effort going on in our state. I mean, it's such a small state, but there's still quite a need.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was until about 8 months ago when we were approached by Catholic Charities USA to help in that recovery.
And why did that happen? How did that all come about?
Well, Catholic Charities USA had been working with FEMA and the state of Connecticut on finding a way to recover from what they had discovered was a much bigger challenge than it might have been otherwise. We sat down with them, went through the whole program, met with FEMA, met with the state of Connecticut, and decided that we'd support the effort. And by saying we would support the effort, we're the only ones who are really doing it in the state of Connecticut.
And where primarily is this going on still?
Well, it's going on clearly on the shoreline of Fairfield County and to some degree New Haven County. And it is much bigger than a bread box. I would be perfectly honest with you, when I first heard about it and the money they were putting into it, I thought it was excessive, but not so.
Sure. Sandy, let's go into some of the services that you're providing.
We provide disaster case management, and through that system, we are looking at the 75 miles of the shoreline as well as the entire state, which is part of what our grant covers. And the clients need home repairs. A huge issue right now is mold remediation, elevation, counseling because of the length of time that it has been since the storm. There really isn't anything that we aren't looking at to see some way out of the box to help people.
Sure, we're looking at some video right now of the kind of the relief efforts, the rebuilding efforts that's going on now. Can you put a time frame on it? How long do you think this is going to go on for?
Well, I've been in the recovery for quite some time now. Originally at the very beginning of Superstorm Sandy, and I went to a meeting with FEMA. And at that time, we were looking at time frames, and they were very honest and said that this recovery is going to take till 2017.
Really?
And now that being in this, the length of time that I have, their timeline is really on target. It's going to take probably till mid-2017 till people reach their new normal.
Sure. And Al, Sandy mentioned the disaster case management program. Can you break that down a little further for our viewers?
Well, the disaster case management program, which is relatively new to us, though we do quite a bit of case management work in the base organization in Fairfield County, is made up of a group of case managers who report to Sandy, and they go out and visit with our clients. We engage them very carefully, study their situation, try to understand what it is that they've done or haven't done, and make sure, which is always a challenge, that the damage we're talking about came from Superstorm. We have recently added a component, which Sandy mentioned, for behavioral health counseling, which we're obviously a big supporter of. We do quite a bit of behavioral health work, but what was not recognized initially was it wasn't just the houses and the mold and the roofs.
Sure.
It was what people were personally suffering with, post-traumatic stress syndrome. Some of these people just did not know where to go, how to make decisions.
Oh, it's so traumatic. You lose your house, you lose all of your belongings. I mean, where do you start?
And you don't see a way out. You don't see a future, which is really hard.
Sure. Sandy, let me ask you, how does the mission that you're doing right now, that we're involved with the cleanup, kind of tie into the Catholic Charities goals?
Well, I believe that the mission of Catholic Charities is to help the community, and that's exactly what we're doing. We do a lot of outreach. We've used the info line for 211 to have people contact us for assistance. There are many people that didn't realize that they could receive help, so they didn't call FEMA, so they don't have a FEMA number, and without that they had nowhere to go. And Catholic Charities doesn't look at those guidelines per se. They will look outside the box to find out what you need and the way to get to a means to an end to help you back to where
Sure.
you need to be.
All right, let's put some information up on the screen. The Knights of Columbus and News 8 invite you to get involved in your community. To learn more about the Catholic Charities of Fairfield County, you can visit kofc.org/charityct. Al, Sandy, thanks so much for being here. Thank you for what you're doing also.
Well, thank you
you.
for having us.
Sure.